People like smart people. Smart people love smart people.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Even dumb people like smart people because they want to leech your energy. Oh, these people.
So they love connection with people. And I was talking to a brother. I want to introduce a brother of mine. I told you yesterday from Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
I think we can have a lunch together and speak because she's like really smart and he wants to know more about culture, African culture. And his name is Henry. He lives on the island, and we should meet sometime and just have a chat because he's really interesting as well. And he has a YouTube channel, and he talks about different kind of stuff. So lots of connection. This is what I'm saying. Like you meet people, you exchange. People want to know. You want to know. Connection. Like this one thing I want to say. Like we really rely on the media to discover each other. That's the really wrongest thing you can ever do in your life.
Repeat again.
Relying on the media.
Relying on the media.
To teach you how humanity or how to connect with that's the wrongest thing you can ever do in your life because it's messed up. It's like, you kind of being programmed by someone you don't even know. Like it's teaching you what to love and what not to love, or where to go and where not to go.
And what to be afraid of. You live in so much fear and anxiety. Oh, yesterday we were talking about anxiety.
Yeah.
You dropped my tea.
Yeah, and anxiety is a real thing, man. Trust me. When fear is involved, you're easier to control. Yes, easier to control. That's why you need to keep your mind sharpened. Whatever, when they want to make you afraid, trust me, there is something else behind it. Just think like that, so don't be scared. Nothing's gonna happen. It's just like cha 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 cha, and it will end. It's just to separate people, make them afraid of each other,
right.
And it's something systematical actually. And this thing actually goes on around the world, mostly also in Africa, everywhere, and separation of people. It's the easiest way to colonize the mind, dominate them, and have power and control over people because it's weird, man. It's just weird, it's just fear, and most people are afraid in this world.
I don't understand these fears. Like you and I have been talking about these things. It's so bizarre. People are afraid of each other.
Are afraid of each other without knowing each other. That's the funny part.
It's so bizarre.
It's crazy. I'm like, sometimes because this has happened to me few times, but really few times. You say the name of people change. You see the expression in people's face when I'm like, oh, I'm Nigerian, and you see the expression God, that's based on your knowledge, my friend. You can't judge me. Have you been to Nigeria? No. You know Nigerians? No. Why? You heard news this? You know how many Nigerians are there all around the world? Not even talking about Africans as well, or how many Europeans are in Africa. We never talk about these kind of things. That's crazy, right? Or the thing they experience. I think they're very, very welcome. Most Europeans have met on this island as well because here is really international place.
Yeah.
You meet a lot.
We live on the United Nations island.
You meet a lot of people that travel for business and stuff. And I met two guys from the Netherlands that have lived in Nigeria. They were like, bro, I want to go back.
Everybody wants to go back to Africa. Everybody's like, take me to Africa, take me to Africa.
It's the place I've met the realest people in my life because they don't care who you are. Whatever you want, they just tell you the truth. They don't talk to me wandering around sneaky. We don't do that. We just oh, how are you, man? You're good. Yes, my brother. Yes. If you're cool, you're cool, man. If you're not cool, man, you just keep your distance. But if you're cool, you will love. You'll love because we are willing to take you around. Nigerian people, if they see a foreigner, they love them.
I think as Africans, we are welcoming. But that's how we also got colonized because we are so welcoming. That's how we got colonized.
It's true.
Because we're so welcoming. We take on everybody. Oh, you got troubles. Come on in. You want food? Let's give you some food. Water?
Thank God.
You want a place to sleep? Come on, let's sleep. But this is how we got taken over and colonized because in our spirit, we know that home is everywhere. We know that we are from source. We don't...
The value of sharing.
Yeah, generosity of the spirit.
It's common, but yeah.
In the city now, it's not so common anymore. When I look at Johannesburg and how I grew up, in Soweto during apartheid time, there was so much communal love and support and caring for each other. And then we kind of moved away from that. And it became super capitalism, which I don't judge it. but the soul has changed.
Yeah.
To the mind has changed. It's like, I'm gonna get it for myself, and it's destroying
The
so many lives, like youth, because they don't even understand the value of this. Like, remember yesterday I said to you, oh, you don't know how to receive love.
Yeah.
And you said, he answered me in such a profound way. He's like, yeah, maybe I don't. I said, yo, this man is something. He's touching me places I didn't even know was possible. He's something, child. Why? Because so many of us don't know how to receive goodness and love and compliments, and because we've grown up in these hard cities where it's like, stab them before they stab you, get them before they get.
Society, and
so when somebody comes with just kindness, you're like, hey, what do they do? They go scam me. They'll fucking scam me. No, not everybody is looking to scam you.
That's the sadness now, because in order to have power, what people do is like a pyramid, trying to mash on top of each other. And so, like back in the days, I think we did community stuff. That's why we improved a lot. Now with this greediness of society and money and become rich, become powerful, this and that, kind of make people want to step on top of each other. But at the end of the day, just like 1 or 2% make it on the top. So the rest just find themselves in misery, like cursing themselves, like giving shit to each other. Actually, that's what we do. Like your own people, just want, because you want to be a G, but you don't know what it is like being there. Like, it's not like you're happy. You understand? Happiness can never be bought. Like, I'd rather be happy. Like,
happiness can never be bought. Say that again.
Happiness can never be bought. Never. Money, there is no money that can buy happiness. Health and happiness can never be bought. No matter what you say, how much money you have, no matter what, health and happiness can never be bought. But that's natural thing that comes from God and from our inner self, because we are gods.
Just I know how to find them gods. I know how to find them gods. I know how to do this thing. Okay, my bro.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Nigeria with your grandma, and then you moved from Nigeria to Europe.
First.
I think that's when your like, I don't know how to accept love wounds triggered. Because like, as Africans, we know how to accept love. Your grandmother taught you how to accept love. My grandmother taught me how to accept love. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I grew up with my family members, my aunties, my uncles, my cousins. Like, we all lived in a big house together. That's amazing. That's a good thing I remember of my youth. Like, when I was younger, growing up, like, it's the best memories I have, because having family members around, playing, like living day by day. It's a different feeling rather than going to a different country. Just having your parents, no family member, it's crazy. Like, this kind of thing affect a lot of African guys, mostly people born overseas. I was lucky enough that I was still tied to my heritage. I'm still today. I know who I am. I know where I'm from. I lived there for 11 years. When I was young, I went to school. I had a good education, luckily. I was lucky enough to go to a private school, and I had a good education before moving to Italy. But still, I live with my parents. My grandmother gave me values of life. That's the most important thing. That's one thing you can't buy. Like, that's crazy, because this is things that you inheritance.
It's your inheritance.
Yes.
That's why I say to people, forgive your parents. No matter what happened, forgive them, because they gave you something.
It's not always about money or account number or what you have in your bank. No, it's like about knowledge, like things, lifestyle or values. Like, my mother teach me an example. Values I should be viewing a woman to have a happy life as a man. My mother taught me this. My grandmother taught me this most. And these things, like, they're pretty simple stuff, but now in the society it's kind of, oh man, you're asking for too much, bro. I just ask you to be happy, man. So it's not like, oh, I need to, like, come on, man, like, it's normal, like, we do this on normal daily basis for our health, like, you know what I mean? Now they're just making story out of it, like, everybody coming up with different stuff, like, just to not be, and it's kind of like, people think we don't dominate each other. No, we have to grow. It's family, like, culture. And yeah, that's the difference I was saying between people born in Nigeria that were born in Nigeria and people who moved to Europe or were born in Europe. There's a huge difference because self-knowledge is important. This is the thing that I noticed.
Self-knowledge.
Important. This is the thing that I can actually say because I experienced it. I moved to Italy at the age of 11. Luckily, I wasn't stupid. I could already speak 3 languages at the age of 11.
Luckily, I wasn't stupid.
So I was pretty lucky because I was good at English and everything. So going to school was hard for me because I had to learn Italian. It took me 4 months to start speaking it. So because at that age, your brain is still
it's so malleable.
And luckily, I was having private teacher mostly like 3 or 4 days a week. So I was also like focusing, and she speaks English and just helping with English and Italian. And I got into the language. Now I just speak it perfectly. I also got the accent. They're like, "Oh, you born?" I'm like, "Oh man, I learned it." How are you? I'm Nigerian, don't worry.
Africa in the house. We speak many languages.
And and I got the accent as well. So because I grew up like with local children, I play with the kids from the street, same school. Like I was really open man. Of course, you had dumb people as well. Like people who try to like knock your confidence in life. Oh, I'd never. Before you knock my confidence, my ancestors, they're behind. You need to knock me before you. It will take ages. I was raised like that. I don't know. Maybe because I went to a boarding school in Nigeria. Like they teach you how to control yourself. Manners mostly. Manners. That this is something that lack a lot in the Western world. Manners, I don't know, because
people are just vile.
It's systematic, something systematic, Also, kids right nowadays, look at the kids, how they're growing up. You as a parent, you don't have control over your kids. It's crazy.
Yeah, no shit.
It's crazy. I'm not saying, okay, you need to be violent with your kids or whatever. No, you need to share knowledge with your kids. Teach them how to be human, not school. You have to teach them how to be human, how to treat each other. Because the school doesn't teach your kids anything. They just teach your kids to be slaves unless they are rich. Or that's it. What the school teach now. Private school, unless you go to a private school, you can afford.
But even the private schools don't teach you how to be a human. They teach you how to engage with other cultures, be exposed to what other people think and do, and the lifestyle of other people and the thinking process of other people. But if you come just empty and your parents don't instill in you, this is how we behave as a people of the ancient people. We don't just go around saying these things or doing these sorts of things. You gain all of this knowledge, but then when you do engage, look, we live on an international island.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we didn't have manners? They would be like, oh my God, these Africans are nasty, and they would kick us off the island or something like this.
We're already 5. So
we would create, already our ancestors are so powerful. If we didn't have the manners and the sophistication that we learned from dealing with different cultures, even within the Black culture in Africa, we would just go around hating everybody, being vile to everybody, and all this nasty.
That's how things happen. Because from one pinnacle, everything generates from one step. So it's just everything depends on us. That's what I'm saying. It depends on how we view things, what we want, and knowledge. Basically, knowledge, education. This is what I mean. Education, knowledge, self-knowledge. That's the only thing that can improve. The thing that I know that saved me from I don't want to judge the others, from not being like the others, being lost in my life, is the knowledge again of myself when I was little, knowing I'm coming from this kingdom. We have a king, we have a history. Because when I went to Europe to school, the thing they taught me was crazy, man. I was like, whoa. I never knew I was Black before.
You never knew you was Black before.
I never heard this thing before. People are serious here, man.
You said he never knew he was Black before?
I'm like, okay. All I know was that I'm Naija, I'm not Blacko.
I'm not Blacko.
So it's kind of this, and also at school, honestly, the system tried to knock down Black his African heritage. The system tried to knock them down straight to the head. Boom. Straight like a bullet. The first thing they use is like history lessons. Bullshit. Bullshit, because it's always what they say, the history is always written by the winner. And what the winner always want to do, oh, I'm the best.
Glory, look at me.
Oh, bro, we fucking saved you from yourself, man. You were dying from black plug, man.
Yeah.
Like, we don't go around writing books that, no, we just don't care because we did it for our soul. Like, if you see, we don't, some people gain confidence by mashing others. Some people don't need that, because if you are powerful, you don't need to prove anything.
You just live your life.
If you're really powerful, you don't need to prove anything. You just need to be yourself and just live your life, because you don't need to prove anything. You prove by acting rather than saying or doing. Just be yourself and you will gain all the respect you deserve.
Hold on. Repeat again. I'm having a spiritual orgasm right now.
Yeah.
Okay, like a knowledge orgasm. He's like, what? If you're powerful,
you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just have to be yourself and do your things. People will recognize your power or your energy. You don't need to say anything. You just need to be yourself. Do the things you love. And powerful people, normally, they just don't. You don't see them around. Trust me, the most quiet people are the most powerful. Like, they don't. they just don't. They maintain their energy. And people that always shout, the most powerful people are just tranquil. Tranquil, they don't want to prove anything. They don't want you to, oh, I'm this and I'm that. They just mind their business. And they're willing to help always. Because I don't know, this is part of, I don't know if it's humanity or kind of human being. People with power, they know they're always willing to help others, because I think like, oh, you have this power, it's God-given power, It's like, you can't just use it for do what, like, when you are, when you're strong, like we're physically strong, we can, because we gain this power in order to use it to serve ourselves, because our community working together, now we have technology and everything, but trust me, real power is, technology can do shit, like, trust me, give yourself technology, you will die. You will die. You see,
you end up beating each other.
You will be governed by technology.
Already we are governed by technology, and most people don't even know it. That's why we sit outside in the sun. As Africans, you need sun. Yes. I don't understand why people don't sit outside in the sun. Oh, I'm going to be dark. I'm so much darker than when I moved here, but I'm so much happier
and powerful.
Activated melanin.
And sun for us, African, listen very carefully. Sun for you is like a battery. Remember that. 20 minutes, half an hour sun a day is like a battery. It can, not only for your body, but for your soul. Mostly. Like recharge, giving you vitality. Trust me, going to live in the Western world or in cold country will only weaken your system. You ever realize that?
I was weak. I was a pathetic, sad soul. It took a lot of energy, a lot of prayer work, a lot to just to experience a little bit of power in the Western world, especially China. There was no sun for 4 to 6 months out of the year. The winters are brutal. I would go into a deep depression where I felt like somebody had put juju on me. Like my mind wasn't working straight. It was crazy.
Power of the sun. Sun is different. The sun in Africa is different though.
It is different. It's like
I swear, it cures me. Yeah. Like normally I have this reaction when I travel. Like I get irritation on my skin when I travel too much, or I'm in the wrong environment. Like now, I experienced this in Thailand as well because of food. I went to do high blood test and I found out that I'm allergic to a lot of stuff. Most of the year, because here most of their food they use soy and this kind of stuff. It's not common where I come from to use soy in my diet.
Right.
So my body kind of realized this. And I've had this before. I was in Nigeria 1 year ago. I went to Nigeria for 1 year, bro. My skin was like everything.
You have a glow.
Everything just went off straight. The sun is different, and the thing was there. I was enjoying the sun, and my brother said, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "Bro, I need it. You don't know.
You don't understand.
You don't understand. I've been away. This sun, we don't have half of this sun there."
People don't understand, and I think as Africans want to travel. I want to travel. Take me where I want to go and work overseas. I'm like, you have no idea the how. It takes a strong mind to be able to live in the West. like you cannot be weak and live in the West.
No, it's like
you cannot.
You lost your soul straight away. You will find yourself doing things you would never imagine. It's crazy. Yeah.
You will sell your soul in the
you
West.
Sell your soul
you will sell even your ancestors'
you
soul.
think you're worthless. That's what most people do. They're like, oh, in this society, I don't have any power. So the easiest thing for me to do is to sell my soul just to get a little bit of knowledge, like most people do. And giving an example, I come from Italy, Nigeria and Italy. I grew up there with their knowledge and everything. I went to school. I play with Italian kids. I have good friends, Italian friends. Like I'm really connected, and but I never lost myself. You understand? These are the things that are really matters. Like you can introduce to other culture, be mixed with other culture, but you need self-knowledge. That is the most important thing and powerful thing you could ever have. Is self-knowledge. Let's get back to the example I was saying when I got to Italy. Let's keep going from that point.
We're Africans. We just go on around conversations.
Yeah, we don't have a right.
We don't have a full stop.
Yeah. And I had friends that were born there, but they were like, acting out of control. Like I noticed this. I'm like, bro, I have a really good friend. If I can mention him, his name is Marlon. And we were classmates in high school. We were teaching electrical engineers. We were learning, and I always empowered him. He till today is thanking me everywhere. Whenever he sees me, it's like, this guy helped me a lot. Like, because I'm like, bro, like, look at you. Like, we are fucking kings. You know what I mean? Good morning. Morning. Like, bro, look at you. Like, you can't get like smart because he didn't actually had his story, his self-knowledge on him. All he did, like what African parents do when they're immigrants to other countries, is because they have to work. You have to think this thing, like they have to work, spend most of their time at work, 10 hours a day. Who's going to teach you?
Okay, so they're learning from Cardi B online. Not that I don't like Cardi B, I don't judge people, but like rappers. They're learning from Cardi B, rappers, Dre, who are the whatever. And that's why these children in Africa, I was in South Africa a few years ago, these children were like, I want to be a hip-hop porn star.
Hey.
I said, that is a career path somebody wants to take. 14-year-old wants to be a hip-hop porn star.
Not even one.
Not even a scientist, not even a doctor, not even an artist. No, hip-hop porn star.
Because this is what is promoted in the media. That's why I don't watch TV. I would never tell my kids to watch TV or so ever. When my cousins used to tell me this back in the days, like hip-hop is sold out, don't listen to it. Growing up, I realized that. And luckily, I never listened to hip-hop music when I was in Nigeria. I discovered that when they were like, oh, do you know 50 Cent? I'm like, no.
Right. Yeah, I discovered 50 Cent and all this hip-hop stuff at the nightclubs. When I was working at the nightclubs, I was like, I take you to the candy shop. I said, yo, people are thinking that I'll swirl on your lollipop. I said, what are they teaching these children? They're sex.
And then when you start having kids at 18, 17, your life is messed up. You can't do anything anymore. Like, these kind of things affect brain. Like, you have to be careful what you put in your mind. And
I'm so grateful for my dad. My dad would never allow us to listen to that stuff. It was all this gospel stuff, but that gospel stuff saved me.
Yeah.
Because in the time when my brain was being formative, in the formative stage of my brain, I didn't have all of this swinging on your lollipop and all of these things.
Thank you. It's a matter of self-knowledge. You know yourself, it's harder for them to dominate your mind. If you know who you are. These people, they see, in this society of black people, we are not respected where they are live. Like you as a black African in Italy, you're like a lower part of the society. Matter of fact, I'm saying the truth. It's true. No matter who you are, unless you're rich, they will treat you properly. Okay, unless you have connections. But as long as they see you're black, they think, you're like the low class of the. It's true. It's fact. I don't want to lie. I don't want to hide.
Don't lie. Tell your truth.
Say truth. And that's pretty much. And we said I get lost in the conversation myself.
We all get lost in the conversation. Okay, so no, self-knowledge. So Mario, your friend who you always encouraged because you knew yourself from Africa, because your grandmother instilled that in you before you got to Europe.
Yeah, and what I'm saying, parents, they go to work ages, they work 30 years, and they think, I'm lucky because I found a work in a warehouse, I can provide for my family. No, my guy, you are just spending a lot of time. Like, you need to spend time with your kids. That's why before having kids, I'm planning to be independent first. I can move to Nigeria and live there, grow my kids because I want to spend time with them. Because this time is precious, you know. You can't just have kids and throw them. It's gonna become a disaster.
It's like private school education. The parents spend so much time working to pay for private school education, and yet in these private schools, these children are getting lost. They are getting lost in the white world or whatever world they're colonized in, and they come out not really having a sense of self.
And they think they're like this because they went to who will know school where they have a degree in there.
Yeah, but when life changes, something happens in their life. They cannot. They are weak.
They can deal with it.
Yes, they are weak in the mind.
Self-knowledge.
It's scary.
Self-knowledge. And yeah, speaking about rappers and stuff, where we were talking, and I never knew. And I was raised, I listened to African music, like police music. Nigeria music is very popular. Like we are like culturally, like we have everything from Africa coming to Nigeria. You can listen to French music, Nombolo. This is what I'm dancing. That's how I learned how to dance. For me as a kid, it was listening to music, dancing with the other kids, enjoying your culture. This is how I learned how to dance, like most of the time. Because for me, it's a gameplay. Like going out and playing, which I play with the PlayStation. I never play with the PlayStation, so I was always outside doing
right,
and enjoy the sun, jumping in the sand, playing with the sand. This is how we play in Nigeria. Like we play.
This is how we played in Africa. Remember when we used to go and play outside like till 6 o'clock, and your mother had to call, "Hey, Rana, come back home. It's late now." And then they beat you because you need to come home, take a shower, and you're dirty. You've been running around all around the streets with no shoes for like the whole day. You haven't eaten, and then they beat you when you come home.
And then say, okay, sorry, take food.
Yeah. You know you must come back home for lunch. Why are you running around the whole day? What have you eaten the whole day?
And this is pretty funny because I was in Nigeria last year, as I said, and I went to I was working at the house where I was raised. And I just like renovation. And the house next door, I saw kids still like jumping in the sand. I was so amazed. Like I had made a video about them. Like, wow, this remembered me of when I was a kid, like just playing, like free-minded. Don't know. Like that's how you also like grow your skills. Yeah, have physical ability or whatever. Because just like connecting, playing all day, and these kind of things, rather than being locked in a box.
And the PlayStations, and that's why the kids are so violent, because all day long they are just shooting each other with these PlayStation and these games.
Take it away from them and see their reaction.
It's like they're on crack.
Drug.
It's like they're on cocaine or something. You have to put them in rehab.
Yeah, crazy.
They'll beat you, these kids. They'll punch you out for a video game.
Some people call police on their parents. I'm like, go do this in Nigeria. Call police for your parents. The police will take you. They will beat the shit out of you. Take it to your parents. Tell your parents. And they'll be like, okay, next time you know what to do. It's just for your own safety. It's not because they hate. It's for your own way so you grow up properly as a man. You understand? It's education.